All right, get ready to dive deep into the world of photonics. We're talking about prepping for a photonics engineer interview.
Which means stepping into a world where
Yeah.
you engineer light, lasers, fiber optics, bioimaging, you name it.
All about the future.
Shaping the future with light.
We've got RoleCatcher resources to help you nail this interview.
From career guides
To interview guides.
and even some insights into how AI can give you an edge.
This deep dive is going to make you shine brighter than...
Then a stimulated emission.
We'll hit the high points and give you the confidence to own that interview.
Walk into that room like you own the electromagnetic spectrum.
All right, first things first. What does a photonics engineer even do?
Well, it's more than just lab coats and lasers.
Right.
Think high-speed internet, fiber optic communication systems.
Designed by photonics engineers.
Designed by photonics engineers, that's right. Or medical imaging tools, allowing doctors to see inside the human body without invasive procedures.
Wow.
Also products of photonics engineering.
So it's really applying that science to solve real-world problems.
Absolutely.
Across industry.
Across a ton of different industries.
Yeah.
And that's something you can really highlight in your interview.
Show that you've thought about the different applications.
Diverse applications of photonics.
So the RoleCatcher Career Guide breaks down these different areas.
And the types of roles you might find.
Okay, so let's say this career path is looking bright. What are some of the interview questions?
Well, one you're almost guaranteed to hear is, what first drew you to the field of photonics?
It seems simple.
Yeah, seemingly simple question.
So you got to have an answer ready.
You got to have a compelling answer ready.
So don't just say, it seemed like a good career choice, right?
Definitely not, no.
Oh.
Interviewers want to see passion.
Yeah.
Genuine interest. They want to understand what sparked your fascination.
So tell a story. Like, was there a specific moment?
Exactly. Maybe a science project you did in school, a book you read, or even a specific technology that made you realize the incredible power of light.
So instead of lasers are cool, maybe talk about optical tweezers.
Optical tweezers to manipulate microscopic objects.
That's a great example.
Or maybe you were captivated by the idea of lasers for ultra-precise manufacturing or creating 3D holographic displays.
You got to be specific.
You gotta be specific.
Showcase your enthusiasm.
And you know what? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you craft that answer.
Hold on.
You can practice responding to this prompt.
It's like an AI interview coach.
And the AI will analyze your response, suggesting ways to make it sound more authentic and engaging.
That's incredible. What's another common question?
Another one that comes up often is, can you explain the difference between a laser and an LED?
Sounds basic.
It might seem basic,
What?
but it tests your ability to explain complex concepts clearly and concisely.
So even if you aced your photonics courses,
Yeah.
it's about proving that you can teach it.
To somebody who doesn't have your level of expertise.
Right. So imagine you're explaining it to a friend.
Who knows nothing about photonics.
Right.
You want to break it down in simple terms using analogies they can relate to?
So like an LED is like a light bulb.
Yeah.
Emits a wide range of colors, while a laser is like a focused beam of a single color. It's like shining a flashlight versus pointing a laser pointer.
That's a good start. You can also mention the difference in how the light is generated.
Oh, okay.
An LED produces light through spontaneous emission, where electrons jump between energy levels randomly, while a laser uses stimulated emission to produce a highly coherent and directional beam of light.
Okay, I'm getting it. It's not just about knowing the difference. It's about explaining it so anyone can understand. Now, what kind of follow-up questions could they ask about lasers and LEDs?
They might ask you to give an example of how lasers and LEDs are used differently in real-world applications.
Okay.
So this is where you can showcase your knowledge of specific technologies.
So I could say something like, LEDs are used in everyday lighting and displays because they're energy efficient and produce a broad spectrum of light. Lasers, on the other hand, are used in barcode scanners, laser surgery, and fiber optic communication because of their focused beam and high intensity.
Perfect.
Okay.
You've connected the theory to practical applications,
Yeah.
which demonstrates a deeper understanding. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can also be a huge help here.
Okay.
You can practice answering this question, and the AI will analyze your response, not just for content, but also for clarity and conciseness.
Wow.
It might suggest ways to rephrase certain points or add specific examples to make your answer even stronger.
like a secret weapon in my interview arsenal. All right, let's move on to another question.
All right, this one dives a bit deeper into the technical side of things. Can you explain the concept of nonlinear optics?
Nonlinear optics. That one always sounded a bit intimidating.
It might sound complex, but think of it this way.
Okay.
Nonlinear optics is all about how light can interact with matter.
Yeah.
In unusual ways, creating effects you wouldn't expect from normal light. It's like when you crank up the volume on your stereo and suddenly the sound starts to distort.
I like that analogy.
Nonlinear optics is like cranking up the intensity of light and seeing how it behaves differently.
So instead of just like a textbook definition, try to explain it in a way that someone who's not a physics whiz can grasp.
Exactly.
Okay.
You could mention a concrete example of a nonlinear optical process.
Like what?
Like second harmonic generation.
Okay.
It's where you shine a laser beam of one color into a special crystal and it generates light of a different color.
It's like a magic.
It's like magic, but it's actually science.
So instead of getting lost in the jargon, focus on explaining the concept clearly and engagingly. Maybe even use an analogy.
Exactly.
What kind of follow-up question could they ask about nonlinear optics?
They might ask about real-world applications.
Okay.
This is your chance to connect the theory to practical technologies. You could talk about how nonlinear optics is used in laser frequency conversion, optical switching, or even biomedical imaging.
So, for example, I could mention how nonlinear optics is used to create green laser pointers. Even though there's no such thing as a naturally occurring green laser.
That's a perfect example.
Okay.
It shows you understand the principles and their real-world significance. And remember, with RoleCatcher's AI, you can practice answering this question and get personalized feedback on how to structure your response and make it stand out.
Okay, let's tackle another question. I'm guessing they'll want to know about experience.
Absolutely.
Specific projects I've worked on.
A common question is, what experience do you have with designing and building photonic devices?
Okay.
Now, the key here is to be specific
and
showcase your problem-solving skills.
So instead of just listing projects, walk them through how I tackled a specific challenge.
Exactly. Talk about the goal of the project, the specific problems you faced, the design decisions you made, and the outcomes.
Okay, so maybe I could talk about a time when I had to design a new type of optical sensor for a specific application. Describe the challenges of optimizing the sensitivity and selectivity of the sensor and how I used simulations and experiments to achieve the desired performance.
Perfect.
Okay.
You've gone beyond just describing the project and demonstrated your ability to analyze, design, and problem solve.
Now, what if I haven't had a ton of hands-on experience? Maybe because I'm just graduating. Can I still talk about projects I worked on in school?
Absolutely. Even academic projects can provide valuable insights into your skills and thought process. Focus on the challenges you encountered, the solutions you developed, and the lessons you learned.
So maybe I could talk about my senior design project where we had to build a laser communication system, explain how we had to overcome limitations in the components, optimize the alignment of the optics, and troubleshoot signal loss issues to achieve a successful transmission.
That's a great example. It shows you've applied your knowledge to a practical problem, even if it was within an academic setting. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your responses to these types of questions and provide tailored feedback on how to highlight your skills and experience most effectively for the specific job you're applying for.
Okay.
It can help you connect the dots between your experiences and the employer's requirements.
Okay, that makes sense. Are there any tricky follow-up questions they might ask about my experience?
They might delve deeper into specific aspects of your project, asking you to explain certain design choices or compare different approaches. They might even throw in a hypothetical scenario, like imagine you're designing a new type of optical sensor. What are the key factors you would consider in the design process?
So it's not just about reciting what I've done. It's about showing I can apply those skills to new situations.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating your ability to think critically and solve problems even when faced with the unexpected.
Right. And that kind of adaptability is super valuable in photonics.
Oh, for sure. Now, another question you might hear is, how do you stay up to date with the latest developments in photonics?
Ah, yes. The lifelong learner question?
Yeah, the classic.
Should I list all the photonics textbooks I've read?
Not quite.
Okay.
Interviewers want to see that you're actively engaged beyond your formal education. They want to know you're genuinely curious and committed to continuous learning.
So how do I show that?
Focus on demonstrating your engagement with professional resources.
Like what?
Mention specific journals or websites you follow,
Give me some examples.
like SPY-E or the IE Photonics Society.
Wait, hold on. What are those for those who aren't familiar?
Great point. SPY-E is the International Society for Optics and Photonics.
Okay.
And the IE Photonics Society is a leading professional organization for those working in this field.
Okay.
They both publish journals, host conferences, and offer a wealth of resources for staying informed.
Name-dropping those shows I'm plugged in.
Exactly.
What else?
Talk about conferences you've attended or webinars you've watched. Highlight any online courses or workshops you've taken to enhance your skills.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to mention RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Oh, yeah, RoleCatcher.
It provides links to a ton of valuable resources for staying current.
Speaking of which, we talked about how its AI can help me craft those killer answers. Can it help me prepare for more technical questions?
Absolutely. Let's say they ask you about your experience with specific software tools, like what experience do you have with simulation software like COMSOL or Lumerical?
Okay.
These are industry-standard tools used for simulating the behavior of light and designing photonic devices.
So if I've used those tools, I should just list them.
Not so fast.
Okay.
It's not just about naming the tools, it's about demonstrating your proficiency.
Okay.
Provide concrete examples of how you've used them
All right.
in your past work or academic projects.
So could I say something like, in my senior design project, I used Lumerical to simulate the performance of a novel waveguide design.
Yes.
I was able to optimize the design parameters to achieve the desired optical properties, which ultimately reduced the need for costly physical prototypes.
Exactly. That highlights not only your familiarity with the software, but also your ability to apply it to solve practical problems.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to get into the technical details a bit. You can mention specific modules or features you used, challenges you encountered during the simulation process, and how you overcame them.
So really showcase my problem-solving skills.
Yes.
Now, what if I haven't had much hands-on experience with those specific software tools? What if I use different ones? Or maybe I'm still learning.
That's perfectly fine. Honesty is always the best policy.
Yeah.
You can mention that you're familiar with other simulation software and highlight your willingness to learn new tools.
Okay.
In fact, you can even use RoleCatcher's AI to your advantage here.
Oh, how so?
Well, RoleCatcher's database includes information on a wide range of software tools commonly used in photonics. You can explore these resources and get a better understanding of the specific tools mentioned in the job description.
Okay.
You can even use the AI to practice answering questions about those tools, even if you haven't used them directly.
So RoleCatcher can help me bridge that experience gap.
It can help you articulate your transferable skills and demonstrate your eagerness to learn.
That's a huge relief.
Yep.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit.
Okay.
What about questions that focus on my contributions to the field?
They might ask something like, how have you contributed to the development of new photonic technologies or products?
Okay.
Now, this is your chance to shine a light on your innovative spirit and impact, even if you haven't invented anything groundbreaking just yet.
What if I haven't single-handedly revolutionized laser technology?
Focus on showcasing your involvement in research projects,
Okay.
even if they were academic. Did you contribute to a published paper? Did you present your findings at a conference? Did you develop a novel approach to a problem?
So even if I was part of a team, I can still highlight my specific role.
Exactly. For example, you could say something like, during my research internship, I played a key role in developing a new algorithm for optimizing the performance of an optical communication system. My work led to a significant improvement in data transmission rates.
So it's about quantifying my impact.
Yes.
Now, what if they ask about specific technical concepts?
Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. But remember, interviews aren't just about regurgitating facts.
Right.
They're about demonstrating your understanding and problem-solving abilities.
Okay.
Let's say they ask you, can you describe the different types of optical fibers and their applications? It's a broad question, but it's an opportunity to showcase your knowledge and ability to connect theory to practice.
So I should avoid just listing off a bunch of fiber types and their properties.
Exactly. Instead, focus on explaining the key differences between them
Okay.
and how those differences dictate their applications. For example, you could talk about how single-mode fibers are used in long-distance communication due to their low signal loss, while multi-mode fibers are used in shorter distances and applications where cost is a major factor.
Right. So I'm painting a picture of how those fiber types fit into the real world.
Yes.
Now, what if they ask a really specific question about a type of fiber I'm not as familiar with?
Don't panic. It's perfectly okay to acknowledge that you're not an expert on every single type of fiber,
Okay.
but you can leverage your knowledge of fundamental principles to reason through the question.
Okay.
You could say something like, while I'm not deeply familiar with that specific type of fiber based on its properties, I would assume it might be well suited for applications like fiber X, and then extrapolate based on your understanding of fiber optics.
So even if I don't know the exact answer,
Yes.
I can show them I can think critically.
Precisely. It's about demonstrating your thought process and problem-solving abilities. And you know what? RoleCatcher can actually help you practice these types of questions, even if you don't have all the answers memorized.
Really? How does that work?
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze the job description and identify the technical skills and concepts that are most likely to come up in the interview.
Okay.
It can then generate practice questions that target those specific areas, helping you identify your strengths and weaknesses.
So it's like a personalized study guide.
Exactly. And remember, even if you stumble on a question, it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
What matters most is your ability to demonstrate your enthusiasm, your problem-solving skills, and your commitment to continuous learning.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Good.
But interviews can still be nerve-wracking.
Of course.
Any tips for managing those pre-interview jitters?
Absolutely. Remember, interviews are a two-way street.
Okay.
It's not just about them evaluating you.
Yeah.
It's also an opportunity for you to assess whether the company and the role are the right fit for you.
That's a good point. It's about finding the right match.
Exact.
Speaking of finding the right match, let's circle back to the career guide for a minute. We've talked about different job roles and responsibilities within photonics, but what about the typical career progression?
That's a great question. The RoleCatcher Career Guide outlines the typical path from entry-level to junior to senior photonics engineer,
Okay.
highlighting the key differences in responsibilities at each stage.
So what exactly are those differences? Like, what would an entry-level photonics engineer be doing versus a senior one?
Well, at the entry level, you're likely to be assisting with research and development, supporting senior engineers on projects, conducting tests and measurements, and basically soaking up as much knowledge as you can.
Okay.
You'll need to demonstrate a strong foundation in photonics principles and a willingness to learn and contribute.
It's a lot about proving your technical foundation.
Exactly. As you progress to a junior photonics engineer, you'll take on more independent design and development responsibilities. You'll be conducting simulations, optimizing designs, and working more collaboratively with cross-functional teams. You'll need to showcase your problem-solving skills, your ability to work effectively with others, and your initiative to take ownership of your tasks.
So not just technical jobs, but also communication and teamwork skills.
Absolutely. And then as you move up to senior photonics engineer, you'll be leading projects, mentoring junior engineers, conducting feasibility studies, and even managing budgets and timelines. You'll need to demonstrate strong leadership qualities, technical expertise, and the ability to think strategically about the bigger picture.
Wow. So it's a real progression.
It is.
In terms of both technical skills and leadership responsibilities.
Exactly. And that's something you can highlight in your interview answers, even if you're applying for an entry-level position.
Okay.
You can talk about your aspirations for growth and how you see yourself developing within the company.
Great point. So even at the early stages, it's about showing you're thinking about your long-term career trajectory.
Right. And that brings us to another important point from the career guide. How can you position yourself for advancement beyond just doing your day-to-day job? The Gaining Hands-On Experience and Elevating Your Career sections have some great advice.
Let's hear it.
Well, the obvious ones are gaining hands-on experience through internships, co-op programs, or personal projects.
Okay.
Building a portfolio of projects that showcase your skills and problem-solving abilities can really make you stand out. Think of it like building your own photonics highlight reel.
So it's not just about what I know, it's about what I can do.
Exactly. And then there's publishing papers, presenting at conferences, and basically demonstrating your expertise to a wider audience.
Okay.
This shows initiative and a commitment to pushing the boundaries of the field.
So it's not just about learning, it's about sharing my knowledge.
Precisely. And that's where networking comes in.
Okay.
Attending industry conferences, joining professional organizations like CSI or the IE Photonics Society, and connecting with other photonics engineers can open up doors you wouldn't even imagine.
It's like building your own network of photonics superheroes.
I like that. And remember, RoleCatcher's Career Guide provides links to these organizations and resources, making it easy to get involved and start connecting.
So we've talked about building skills, showcasing experience, and networking. But are there any less obvious tips for standing out?
Absolutely. One thing that's really helped me throughout my career is seeking out opportunities to get involved in industry standards development.
Yeah.
Participating in committees that define the technical specifications for photonic devices and systems is a fantastic way to gain recognition as an expert and build your network.
So it's like not just following the rules, but helping to write the rules.
Exactly. It shows you're not just content with the status quo,
Yeah.
but that you're actively shaping the future of the field. And it's a fantastic way to learn from the best and brightest minds in photonics.
I never thought about that. It's like taking your career to the next dimension. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. From understanding the role, to prepping for tough questions, to even getting a leg up with AI.
Right.
But before we wrap up, I have one final, slightly philosophical question.
Go for it. I love a good brain teaser.
We've talked about how photonics is all about manipulating light to achieve specific outcomes.
Yes.
But what does it mean to manipulate your own career path?
That's a fantastic question. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Right.
But I think manipulating your career path is all about being intentional with your choices, seeking out opportunities that align with your goals, and constantly learning and adapting to the ever-changing landscape of photonics.
So being proactive, making strategic decisions.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership of your journey and not being afraid to pivot when necessary.
So I'm not just waiting for opportunities to come my way, I'm creating my own opportunities.
Precisely. And that takes courage, initiative, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. But the rewards can be immense.
That's incredibly inspiring. I'm feeling a surge of motivation to go out there and seize those opportunities.
That's the spirit. And remember, you have the knowledge, the skills, and the passion to succeed. And with the right preparation and mindset, you can illuminate your career path and make a real impact in the world of photonics.
I love that analogy.
It's a good one.
Manipulating light, manipulating your career path.
Yeah.
We're the ones holding the laser pointer,
It's a good way to think about it.
guiding our own trajectory.
Exactly. And just like in photonics, where precision and focus are key, the same applies to shaping your career. You have to be deliberate about the skills you develop, the connections you make, and the opportunities you pursue.
It's like we're building our own optical system for success,
Yeah.
carefully aligning each component.
To achieve our desired outcome.
I like that.
And remember, RoleCatcher can be a valuable tool in that process.
Yeah.
It's not just about prepping for interview questions.
Right.
It's about understanding the broader landscape of the photonics industry, identifying your strengths and weaknesses, and strategically positioning yourself for success.
So RoleCatcher is providing the blueprint,
Yeah. Think of it that way.
and we're the engineers,
You got it.
building our dream careers.
Exactly. And just like any good engineer, you have to be adaptable, willing to learn and grow, and never stop innovating. The field of photonics is constantly evolving.
It's always changing.
So embrace those changes and see them as opportunities for growth.
It's like we're riding a wave of light,
I love that.
constantly pushing the boundaries.
To remember, you're not alone on this journey.
Yeah.
There's a vibrant community of photonics professionals out there eager to connect, collaborate, and support each other.
So to everyone out there prepping for that Photonics Engineer interview, or even just exploring the field,
Yeah.
remember this. You have the power to shape your own path.
You do.
Embrace the challenges, seek out mentors, and never stop learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And don't forget to have fun along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Photonics is an incredibly exciting field, full of possibilities. So go out there, shine your light, and make a real impact on the world.
That's a great way to put it. So you're armed with knowledge about the role, prepped for those tough questions, and you've got AI on your side.
It's a powerful combination.
Go out there and illuminate your career path.